Hi everyone, my name is excuse me, Casey Maransani, and this is my paper on Common Core Standards. I currently teach in the USD 417 Morris County District. The high school is located in Council Grove. It is made up of three communities: Council Grove, which is they have a high school, middle school, and an elementary school, and then Prairie Heights, which is a 5 through 8 middle school, which is actually where I teach, and then there is a elementary school K through 4 in Dwight, Kansas. Um, the purpose of the standards of your core-based standards is the intended audience is your faculty, students, parents, and community. Basically, what they're wanting is they want the students and teachers to all be on the same page and basically work together to collaborate to share their goals and to come up with a common standard. The goal here is we're basically trying to change away from our Kansas state standards into a nationally based standards where we really focus on progressing the students into after high school, into possibly college or just getting into the workforce. So this is more of a, I guess, advanced style of standards than what we've been used to in the past. I believe it's going to be something that is going to be good for the students and the teachers and the faculty. It's going to cause some problems in the start, but we'll work through those. The ISLIC standards, basically the standards we're going to talk about in this presentation is Standard 1, which is a vision of learning that is shared and supported by the school communities. Basically, we're saying the communities need to be able to work together with the faculty. All the stakeholders together need to be sharing that same vision. Standard 2, a school's culture and instructional program that is conducive to student learning and staff development. That's basically the one that we're going to hit on a lot today, is we need to focus on the instruction part and the staff development, because teachers right now, they're, I guess I don't want to say don't know, but they just really haven't been equipped yet for this process to take place. So we really need to make sure we're using our staff development during our in-service days to properly equip our teachers. Standard 3 is the school's management of the organization, operation, and resources for a safe, efficient, and effective learning environment. Basically, we're just trying to work towards with the technology and everything, a new style of learning. And then Standard 6, the school's understanding, responsibility, and influence a larger political, social, economic, legal, and cultural context. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with we're in a changing environment, and that's everything we do. And the state standards and teaching in the school system is no different. So we have to be able to adapt to especially the economy, but just adapt it overall to the culture, and I think this is the start of that process. Description of the Common Core standards. Basically, they're a state of standards that are plainly told to each student what they are expected to do at that grade level. It lets the teachers be more prepared, not having to worry about what should I teach during this school year, what should I teach at this level. It's saying this is what you're going to do, here are the benchmarks, and this is what you need to get to that for the student to, basically to build on it. And what I like about it is I don't have to worry about teaching something that should have been taught before, because the fourth grade, the example, if I teach fifth grade, the fourth grade teacher should be building on that, and I'm going to build off her. And it's just a constant building block. And that's probably the main thing that I like about it. I actually aligned some standards last year, and it was just unbelievable the redundancies that teachers were teaching. I mean, the kids were getting the same information year after year, and then basically what was happening is you weren't able to get all the way through what you needed to get through for that year for your own standards. And this allows you to build each year on what the last teacher has taught. But it does take teachers working together, and I think that's the hard part of it. The Common Core standards, implications for instructions, and also how they will be affected by your school's demographics. I'm going to start off with kind of my school's demographics. We are currently, Morris County 417, are on Title I improvement for reading, and we will be on improvement next year for math. It is really cut into, I teach social studies, so it's really cut into the amount of time that I have, because students now need an hour and a half of reading, and an hour of math. If you look there at our scores, our reading scores have went up, and a lot of that has to be with a lot of it has to do with these. We've kind of been implementing these core standards in already, and then when us being on improvement, um, getting that extra time, the lessons has really helped. But on the flip side there, on our math, you can see our math is going down. The state's kind of going up a little bit. Well, I don't want to say that we are lower than what the state is because we've actually been higher every year, and it's kind of confusing as to why we are on Title I improvement. It has to do with just one individual subgroup of the SPED, special education. So it has forced the entire school to make changes, but I think it's also helped us to kind of incorporate these core standards in. On the implications for instruction, basically it sets the standards for the No Child Left Behind. That was kind of a hot topic issue a few years ago, and I felt like they kind of came out and just said, no child left behind, but they didn't really give us a set of rules of how to go about helping those students. It forces teachers and students to apply themselves to a more thorough education. Teachers, I think this in some part will anger some teachers, but it basically says this is what you're going to teach, and I think I read somewhere it's about 80% of is basically this is what you have to do, and gives you about 20% their leeway, to do your own thing. But really, this is what it's got to be, and I think it's going to help teachers in the long run, but it's going to make it difficult right now. It makes the educational process more comprehensible and constant. No matter what, 48 of the 50 states have adopted it. Kansas is one of them. It doesn't really matter what state you go to, and with families moving all over, especially around in the part that I'm at with the Army and being so big, students are constantly moving around, and it's tough for parents to understand what their students should be learning at that school. So this basically says no matter where you're at, you're going to be getting this type of information. I think that makes it a lot easier on the parents as well. And it must make sure students in special education are held to the same standard as students, but with accommodations. That's the one that my school is feeling right now, like I said before. We have to make sure that just because you're in the SPED or you have an IEP, you're going to have some accommodations with your accredited testing, but at the same time you are held to pass those. Common Core standards, advantages, and disadvantages. I'm just going to go through these here. Advantages: it ensures every student gets the same educational opportunities. Okay, so no matter what your level is, you're still held at that high standard. Puts the center of attention on exactly what the student is supposed to learn. It is going to bring all states closer together in education. With 48 of the 50 states right now having it, I don't know the facts behind it, but I bet those other two are going to be right behind. And it really helps out those families who are constantly moving. And then the expectations and goals are plenty defined for schools. I think a lot of times teachers and schools didn't know exactly what they should be teaching or what their students should be learning, and it kind of held back the learning process. And now this is saying this is what you're going to do, and this is what you have to do. The disadvantages: forces teachers to change their teaching practices. A lot of teachers are kind of gotten stuck in their ways, and they're just going to be hard-headed on trying to finish. The cost of money and cutting the budget. Our budget economy is low right now, and it costs money to do this. It takes time to implement. We can't get frustrated as teachers. And your bigger school districts are going to have a harder time because you're talking about 5 and 6, possibly up to 15 buildings who have to align their curriculum. That's tough to do. And it puts extreme pressure on the schools and students to perform well on state assessments. That's the big one. State assessments are huge right now. Conclusion: incorporates new technology into the classroom. It kind of improves on the No Child Left Behind sentiment. It puts the success of students for their future success on the forefront. Puts pressure on students in the future on state assessments, and allows parents to get online and clearly see what their students are doing in the classroom. Put there in bold letters: it is a change, but it's a giant step in the right direction. It's going to take time, but it is a step in the right direction. And really, there's my references there at the end. The only one there, if you want to check out the Common Core Standards, www.corestandards.org, there, that top reference, if you want to check that out. I want to appreciate you for listening. Thank you.